Hi, everybody. Um, so, October 10th, 2016 was the last day that a benzodiazepine crossed my lips. I had not had a 2-year period of time without a benzodiazepine since 1990. So 26 years I was on and off benzodiazepines and or what was considered Z drugs, Zolpidem, Ambien, Lunesta, sleeping drugs, sleeping medications. I originally was prescribed them the very first time in 1985 when I lost a child. Everyone said that I needed to take a Valium, and so I took them for a couple days to sleep. And then I didn't take them again until I had a panic attack in 1990 when I was a new single mom with 3 kids under the age of 6. And I was overwhelmed and had a panic attack, and they gave me a Xanax. Pardon me. And it was wonderful. It was just wonderful. But as anyone watching this who has experienced coming off benzodiazepines or has taken them long enough to where you've gone into tolerance or had paradoxical effects from taking them, you will know that as good as it felt the first time, it can be horrifying towards the end. Pardon me. And that's where I had got with benzodiazepines. I was suffering from chronic and severe insomnia for 20 years. In 2014, I kept a sleep journal, and I only had 4 days that I slept longer than 2 to 3 hours. The rest of the year, it was less than that, and some days, multiple days, no sleep at all, in spite of taking 3 milligrams of Xanax and pain medications and muscle relaxers and antidepressants and Benadryl. I kept going in with the insomnia, and they kept adding medications. And then I had more and more symptoms, pain primarily, but other issues came up, and they added more medications. But I had made a decision in 2014 that the medications had become a non-sustainable way of life. I started to develop some real concerns about the quality of my life. I was in bed more than I was out. I stayed in bed most of the day, except to maybe let my chickens out and fix myself something to eat, and every 2 or 3 days take a shower. That was my existence for a while. Once in a while I'd do something social, but I was in bed and on a cane and in a lot of pain and not sleeping and not mentally and emotionally well either, and not able to cope with life very well at all. And I just realized that I needed to do something different. And so I started tapering myself off the medications. First went the easy things like the Benadryl and the muscle relaxers and the Zyrtec for my allergies. While I was tapering opiates, I was taking large doses of oxycodone as prescribed for chronic pain. I still have chronic pain. And then I was tapering the Xanax. I was, in 2014, I was taking 3 milligrams, or 2015, I guess I was taking 3 milligrams a day. And I started tapering down, and I got down to 2 milligrams, and I jumped off in July of 2016. I had already come off 2 months prior to that from the opiates. I had been symptomatic with some protracted withdrawals. The first couple weeks, it wasn't too bad, some irritability and a little increased pain and a little increased insomnia, but coming off the opiates didn't seem to bother me too bad until after a few weeks when I started having a lot of anger and a lot of irritability. If you haven't watched my videos before, I was dependent upon my medications because my body had become accustomed to them physiologically, but I was not addicted to them. And I know the difference. I've experienced the difference. I have suffered with a gambling addiction throughout my adult life off and on. It is in remission right now. I have it well managed, and I'm very grateful for that. In fact, other than when I came off the medications for a very short period of time, I have had it under control pretty well for over 8 years, except for a short period of time. Anyway, I suffered severe withdrawals coming off of gambling in 2010 when I was in treatment. Physical withdrawals, emotional withdrawals, diarrhea, pain, increased irritability, cravings, dreams, obsessing. You know, gambling had been part of my life for a long time, and I did use it as a pain relief, as a escapism. I was trying not to feel. And so I was addicted. I needed to gamble. I didn't know how to not gamble. I didn't know how to stop even though I knew it was killing me. I couldn't stop even though it was killing me for a long, long time. The medications that I took as prescribed, not even similar. Yes, I did have withdrawals because I was physiologically dependent upon them and my body had become accustomed to them. And when you take them away and your body is uncomfortable, you have withdrawals. But I never have craved them. I've not craved a pain pill, a muscle relaxer, a benzodiazepine. Haven't craved them at all. Yes, I've had pain. Yes, I've had anxiety, but I don't want a medication to fix that because I realized that didn't work, even though that's what the doctors were saying was going to work. I have adopted other ways of managing things that I wished people would have told me about a very long time ago. So currently I take no medications. I was prescribed 19 fairly routine medications between 2010 and when I finally came off everything in January 1st, 2018 was my last dose of a medication. So I have stopped 19 medications between 2014 and January 1st, 2018. I have not had a medication except for, I think I've had maybe a few times I've taken a couple Tylenols. I have trialed Azertec for my allergies with horrible effects, horrible symptoms. Threw me into full-blown feelings of withdrawals again. It was terrible. I was worried about being hospitalized. I have tried taking a Benadryl for my allergies because my allergies are one of those things that really disrupt my life a lot. When we had fires here, they were bad. We had a really bad seasonal allergy season, and so my allergies get bad. So I did try a Benadryl. That didn't feel so good either. So I'm kind of not able to take medicines anymore. In fact, it's a little unnerving. Of fear of having something really bad go wrong and like needing to have surgery. Well, I had a angiogram a year ago, December, and the fentanyl and Versed that they gave me, the fentanyl's pain and Versed is the amnesiac, so you don't remember and you're not really with it while they're doing it. It didn't work. I was awake. I felt everything. I was completely aware. And I've had that happen before, and I think it's because my central nervous system has been so disturbed by medications for so many years. But it's kind of unnerving because I can't take a medicine when something comes up. I have to just try the most natural things with eating, rest, exercise, deep breathing, yoga, meditation, conscious breathing, and then I do use cannabis. But that's, and like I'll use a neti pot, or I'll do apple cider vinegar. But that's all I can do. I can't tolerate medications anymore. But I don't crave them, and I never have. This was not an addiction for me. This was what my prescribers did. I just was telling them it was wrong, and that was their way of treating it. Now I know that that's not the way to treat a lot of the things that I had, and especially the depression and the anxiety, which the original conditions were symptomatic, and with some really good support and some skill building and some caring and compassion from loved ones, I probably would have got through those life challenges without ever having a medication. But that is not the way that Western medicine has worked in my lifetime up until now, and it's still, they want to treat you with a medication. It's their easy button. It's their easy button. Oh, let's see, you have these symptoms, we're going to prescribe this. Oh, by the way, maybe you should quit eating this, or maybe you should drink some more water, or get some fresh air, but you're going to have a prescription. So, when I came off benzodiazepines, I knew that I probably would have increased anxiety for a little bit, and I knew that I would probably have increased insomnia for a little bit, and I knew that I might have some increased pain for a little bit, and that I might have some physical symptoms. But I had absolutely no idea, none, that I was going to go through the psychological torture that occurs with coming off benzodiazepines and other medications that are given for long periods of time. It was terrifying. It was just terrifying. And even a year ago, I still would get super anxious if I felt a little bit of a wave coming on, or if I felt some of those first symptoms or felt them strongly. It would almost cause a full-grown panic attack, just because I was afraid of the symptoms, because the symptoms were so terrifying and so horrible and so life-altering, because they did change my life dramatically. So I made a list. I'll tell you a lot of the symptoms that I had when I first came off, and then I'll talk about some that I have now. I had aggression, which I'd never had in my life before, anxiety, agoraphobia, apathy, breathlessness and air hunger, chest discomfort and tightness, constipation, depersonalization was horrible, derealization was horrible, depression was horrible, diarrhea, dry itchy skin, electric shock in my brain, in my body, excitability, muscle spasms, flushing, heart palpitations, sensitivity to noise, sensitivity to light, sensitivity to smells, insomnia, intrusive thoughts. Oh my gosh, they were so horrible. Irrational rage. Oh, it was so hard because it was so not me. Irritability, jumpiness, nausea, nightmares, which I don't typically dream, but boy, I had nightmares. Obsessions. I just would get stuck on a subject and I could not get off. panic attacks, perceptual disturbances and distortions. Things did not look normal. Things didn't feel normal. Nothing was normal. Photosensitivity. My eyes were super sensitive to lights. I had to wear sunglasses most of the time. I had some psychotic symptoms. I had a psychotic break for a day. It was terrible. Restlessness, sweats, night sweats, tinnitus, jelly legs, weight gain. So jump forward to now. First of all, I just want to say, if you go back to some of my first videos, you're going to see the difference, because I'm able to keep my train of thought a little better. I'm not as emotive. I'm not as angry. I'm not as defensive. I'm not as irrational. So, you know, you can see the difference. You can hear the difference. Now, things that have really improved. Things that have really improved. Insomnia. I sleep. I sleep very well. Most nights. At least 5 nights a week. I am asleep between 10 and 11, and I sleep straight through till 7, with maybe only waking up to go to the bathroom once. That other 2 nights, might toss and turn one of them and be up and down and up and down. And I still have probably 1 night a week, or at least 1 night every 2 weeks, that I don't sleep at all. I'm just awake. It's okay now. I don't panic about not sleeping now. I went 20 years with such severe insomnia, and people who know me, they were just like, they couldn't believe that I could go for so much with no sleep. If I don't sleep for a night now, I'm going to sleep, because I have been. So it's okay if I have a night or 2 of disrupted sleep. I don't freak out about it. And, you know, even when I was in the worst of the insomnia, I did develop a period of time where while I was still on the benzos, that it was just, this is the way my life is. And sometimes I sleep and sometimes I don't. And that's the best I can do. When we come off the benzos, that terror of no sleep and not escaping all our symptoms, I think, is what makes the insomnia even worse than what it might have been prior to actually coming off of the medications. I know that I experienced that. I went 7 days with no sleep at all. I ended up in the emergency room, and it was terrible. It was terrible because I didn't have any escape from all those symptoms, and they were just all pounding on me. Now I get some relief, and so I can tolerate. And that's the way with a lot of the symptoms that I still have residual. I would consider myself still in protracted withdrawals, but it's hard to tell with me because I've also come off a lot of other medications, and I have only been medication free, as I said, since January 1st of 2018. So my body is still adjusting from, you know, since I've come off benzos. I've also come off Remeron, I've come off clonidine, I've come off Seroquel, and I've come off a very long usage of Effexor. So the fact that I have symptoms, I don't freak out about it. I know that I am slowly getting back to some homeostasis, healing. I am healing, okay? So symptoms that I still have, I have abnormal muscle tone. I still feel really weak. Part of that is probably just because I haven't done a lot, but I'm strengthening all the time, to the point of I went on the biggest hike I've been on so far. I went on a 4-mile hike, and it was a moderate trail, and it was up and down and on rocks, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that, because in 2014 I couldn't have walked a half a mile with my cane. I would have been afraid to do that because I didn't have the strength, and I was in too much pain. So the fact that I could go on a 4-mile hike is pretty amazing. But I do still have abnormal muscle tone. I can't sustain any strength for any amount of time. I can do a moment, but I can't sustain it. I do have aching joints and my back pain, but I also have back injuries. Visual disturbances. I have very blurred vision. I have double vision. I have sticky, dry eyes. Some days it's better than others. It's not comfortable for me to drive, which is why I don't drive in town. I only drive out here in the country where I'm really, less traffic, and I don't go very far, and I don't drive very much. But yeah, my visual disturbances really are bothersome. I have food cravings, and that's not been something I've really experienced in my life prior to all of this. I've never had food issues, but I do have food cravings for potato chips and chocolate is the big ones. I still have some depersonalization and derealization, but mostly depersonalization. It's just sometimes things are just like, this isn't real. This doesn't feel real. This is not my life. How the hell did I get here? And part of that might just be that it's been quite a journey, and this wasn't what I planned for my life, and it wasn't on the trajectory that I was going on before all of this happened. So it is sometimes kind of unbelievable that it is my life, but it feels still like some derealization. When I'm out in public, I will find myself kind of check out for a little bit. Still at grocery shopping, but it's much better, much better. I still have muscle spasms. I still get gastritis and the benzo belly. I mean, and it doesn't seem to, I don't know what makes it come and go. It's not food related. It's just like some days my belly is normal, and then some days it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't hardly breathe. It feels so big, and it just feels like it's pushing up. I've had hair loss. My brush is full of hair on a regular basis. I used to have super thick hair. I have heavy limbs. I just feel weighted down still a lot, like the earth's pulling me. I'm very sensitive to stimulation of like too much noise, too much bright lights. Smells will get me. I'm just super hypersensitive. I'm easily startled. I still have this horrible startle reflex. Poor concentration. I have to write things down. And I have to really plan my day. I don't do well with surprises or changing my plans in a hurry, because I have to really balance how much interaction I have with people, how much stimulation I have, because I get worn down. I just get worn down emotionally. It's just too much to process if I'm going too hard or around too many people. So I really have to plan my days when I'm going to be out and about. I still have a lot of sinus issues, partially my allergies, but my sinuses have been worse than they've ever been in my life through all of this. I have a little bit of tinnitus. It's not bad. It's transient. It comes and goes, but I do get it. Bladder. I'm either going all the time or I don't go and don't go and don't go. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I just kind of go with the flow. Ha ha ha. I do get vertigo. I still get irritable. It's getting better. It's getting a lot better. I'm able to have better self-control again, which I'm really glad. So this has changed me. This has changed my life. It's changed outlooks. It's changed the way I deal with things. And I'm grateful today. I'm grateful I've lived through it. I do still have occasional suicidal ideation. I have to be my own cheerleader every day. I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day. Like when I went on my hike, that morning I'd had a bad day the day before, and I woke up in the morning, I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't have the strength. I don't have the energy. I don't have the drive. And it was like, no, I really want to do this. And I knew the person that I was going with would understand if I got there and said, I can't. She's just somebody who would have understood. And so I felt safe and going, okay, I'm going to do it, give it my best, you know. But I have to be my cheerleader all day long. I have to tell myself, because I do have chronic pain, you can do it. Yep, I know it hurts. Just keep going. You can rest when you get home. I know it would be better if you didn't have, and I do. I just talk to myself all day to encourage myself. And then when those suicidal ideation moments do hit, then I also am like, yep, I know you feel that way. I know that it's been really bad. I know you're really, really tired. But you're getting better. And there is something else. And you still are purposeful. And you still are necessary. I say these things to myself. That is why I'm still here. Because I've learned that no one is going to be here all the time except for me. So I have to be my cheerleader. And it's working so far. Here I am. A few things that I wanted to touch on. You know, we talk about healing and we talk about recovery. People say, will I heal? Will I heal? Will I heal? A lot of people, when they say that, what I hear from other things that they say and the way they say it, they want to heal back to where they were. I don't think that that happens. I don't think anyone under any circumstances with any kind of injury or ailment, each day is a new day. We can't go back. We can't, it's not the same. After you've broken a bone, even if it heals good, you know, you're going to feel the cold when, you know, a lot of people have these different things that happen and they heal, they get homeostasis, they get where they can manage life, but they still have that little weakness, you know, that weak spot because there was some kind of an injury or ailment or condition that changed their whole body strength and abilities. And so I've come to a point that I accept that I am healing. I am in the process of healing. And there's going to get to be a day that I'm going to be where I just have to pick up my life and move on. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just picking up that this is where I'm at today. I don't know how much better I'm going to get. I also don't know if I'm going to get in a car wreck tomorrow. I know I'm better today than I was 2 months ago. I know that my strength is better. My thought patterns are better. My ability to cope is better. But am I going to be who I was in 1990 when I took the first benzodiazepine? That's ridiculous to expect that. Am I even going to be who I was 10 years ago when I started taking them very regularly again and took all these other medications? No, because I'm 10 years older and I've had 10 years more other experiences going on. So I've accepted that this is where my life is today, and I'm moving forward every day, and I'm doing the best I can, and this is what I have to work with. And it makes it easier. Being pissed off for all the losses. You know, I've had a lot of losses. Those who've watched my videos, had a lot of losses. But I'm kind of at the point that when it comes to some of the relationships, it's their loss too. They lost, and I'm going to be okay, and I'm making new relationships and forging new alliances, and that's just part of life too, you know. And the things that I lost, I miss them, but they were things. I have me. I have my integrity. I have my morals and my values. I have the people I care about and that care about me today. So I've been really working on forgiving me and forgiving others. I might not forget, especially because I have PTSD too, and I still have some work on those kinds of old memories that still can creep up and bother me, but I can forgive, and when it creeps up, I can try to deal with it a little better. This has been a heck of a learning journey, and it's been the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. But there's been good too. There have been amazing people who held me up in those early days, and who answered the phone, and who contributed financially to help me when I couldn't do anything for months. There are people that sent me emails and little messages. I learned I can live with a lot less than I thought, and I had lived with less for a while even before this, but you can live with a lot less and still find joy in the day. Anyway, I am just kind of bewildered that I'm making this video and I haven't cried, and I've been able to stay on track, and I think I've made sense, and I think I've shared a message of hope. I sure hope so. That's why I've shared this journey. I've shared this journey, the ugly, embarrassing times. I've shared deep emotion. I've shared fears. I've shared anger. But I mostly have wanted to do all these videos because I knew it was going to be important when today came, and when another year comes, and another year, for people who are just starting this journey to see that it might be slow and it might be hard, but we do improve. We can have a life. We can have love and friends and caring relationships. We can find work. I can't work full time, but I can work a little. So I do what I can. We find new hobbies. We can still be okay. We can still be thriving. So hang in there. Reach out. Let the group people help you, those that you see that are strong or that understand your particular set of circumstances. Keep breathing. Be your own cheerleader, because you have to live with you every day. Anyway, I appreciate all of you for watching, and I really appreciate the people who just stay by my side through the wonderful words of encouragement that they had for me in the various groups that I participated in while I went through this. Anyway, that's it for now. Yay-hoo! 2 years! All right. Peace, everybody. I love you guys. Bye.